Hello, hello. Welcome to the live stream. I have been a ghost. I have been non-existent, to be honest. But here I am. I hope you guys have all been well. Long story short, I'll probably have to explain this a few times today. Simple fact of the matter is I have been away with work. So I got a new job, and that has took up a lot of my time recently. Probably too much of my time, in truth, to be honest. But here I am. Hope you guys all doing well. Hope you guys all doing. There's an echo that has now gone. Yeah. So tonight, Aston Villa away at BSC Young Boys. We'll get the lineup just here as well. I'm expecting more of a quieter stream today due to the fact that I've just not been here. Simple as. In fact, it might scare people when they see the. I don't know. Yeah, the notification might actually put people into shock. To be honest, that's how little I've been live recently. So it might be a bit of a quieter stream today, but we'll see how it goes. This is the second year in a row we've played this side in Europe. We played them in the Champions League last season, and comfortably beat them in that tie as well. Our form has been incredible, to be honest. So if we don't do well today, you can blame me. It is fine to do that. Villa have won 9 out of the last 11 games. So me coming back today, if we lose, blame me. I'll fully take the blame today. I am live on both platforms. Apparently, if I say the name of some platforms, I get shadow banned. How you doing to OK Bet? What's good? And we are fourth in the Prem, my friend. And they stopped showing Europa League games on a website I used to watch it on. Oh dear, Maldini, that is rough. But yeah, I'm live on Red platform, and I don't know if I can. I think I can say TikTok. I don't think YouTube. Whoa, nearly said the word. I don't think certain platforms algorithms work the way that TikToks does, so I can say that one. So we're live on double the platforms. Like I said, I've been away recently. I got a new software job, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. Probably too much of my time. But I am here now, and that's all that matters. That is all that matters. I haven't been live for a long time up the Villa. This is welcome to the stream. I literally haven't been live since. God, I'm gonna scare myself here. I'm gonna look at our results, and I can tell you the last time I was live for a game, probably a month ago plus, to be honest. Yeah. Didn't do Leeds, Bournemouth, Tel Aviv, Liverpool, City. Go ahead, Eagles. How many games ago was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games ago. Ooh. Oh dear. There's been a lot of football play, and there's been an international break in that time as well. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. It wasn't just for my job. The first couple of weeks, I was away, and then when you get out of the run, I suppose it's hard to get back into everything as well. I've not made any YouTube videos, not made any TikTok videos. I've just completely had a break. At the same time, getting a new job as well. I had to put a lot of focus into that. Anyway, we're here to talk about Aston Villa, not about me. How are we all doing? The lineup for Aston Villa today, it is a much changed Villa side with Emi Martinez in goal. We've got a back four of Maatsen, Pau Torres, Victor Lindelof, and Lamar Bogard playing potentially right back today. He's often played in midfield, so it's going to be weird actually see him in defence for a change. Gesson, Tielemans, Onana, and Sancho make up the midfield, and we're going to have Morgan Rogers alongside Donyell Marlon in the somewhat 4-4-2 we've got. We also have Harvey Elliott alive as well. Harvey Elliott is on the bench for Aston Villa today. Huge talking points about Elliott. The fact he's just not been involved in games, bizarrely. I think some of it is to do with the fact we don't want to play him in so many games where we are forced to spend the money to buy him. I don't think his time here has gone very well, based on the fact that not Emi Martinez. Unai Emery has just refused to include him in any plans really. And even looking towards Ross Barkley more than Harvey Elliott, I think speaks volumes to me, to be honest. OK Bet says 2-0 Villa score prediction. Where they show Europa League games on TNT Sport. However, I don't think they've kept the license after this year, so that may change after this season. Because I know they're losing the rights to the Champions League, so they might lose the rights to the Europa League as well. We'll have to see. For it is BSC, right? Yeah, BSC Young Boys. We've got Keller in goal. Hadjam, Benito, Zokru, and Janka make up their back four. Lorpa alongside Raveloson. Oh, he plays. Oh, yeah. He's one of the few Madagascan players. If you ever play Football Manager, or I think he's on FIFA as well, it's one of the few times you're going to see that nation appear. Fastnak, Peck, and Miles on the right hand side behind Cordova up front for Young Boys. I think he played for. Yeah, he's been around the block. He played for Augsburg in the Bundesliga. Recently played for Alanyaspor in the Super League in Turkey. But yeah, he's been around the block a little bit, Mr. Cordova. So, might not be a super easy game. Hello to you, Jerome. What's good? Like I said, I'm going to be explaining myself a lot today because a lot of people come in and be like, "Oh my god, AJ, you're alive." Long story short, I've had a new job recently, and now I am back after being very busy. There you go. We're underway, by the way, for this game. I will say I will be struggling with my usual coverage of these kind of games because I'm out of the habit of doing it. So we'll see how it goes today. But let's hope for the best. I've got a poll running over on the Red platform. We're going to see. Most people have said Villa to win. Young Boys. I think we've had at least one vote for Young Boys to have a draw. Oh, no, so for Young Boys to win. Oh my god, someone thinks Young Boys are going to win. Okay, that is bold. That is bold. I personally don't think so. Unk is finally live. I am indeed. Unk is live, indeed. Pau Torres. Did that go out of play? There was a long ball played forward. Is a throw into Aston Villa back to Pau Torres. I'm interested to see how Daniel Marlon does today. I think there is a genuine cause for him to start over Ollie Watkins. As much as Villa have been very good recently, I think it's kind of been in spite of Ollie rather than because of him. He works hard, always presses, always runs the channels, but still only one goal this season is a big worry for me. It's really bad, I think, especially with how good we know he can be. I personally think it's really bad, to be honest. A lot of empty seats at Villa Park, Jerome. Yeah, it's because the games are expensive. I think the pricing we've got wrong, I think. This all started with the Champions League as well. As we priced some Champions League games up to 90 quid, which was ridiculous. And our pricing for the Europa League isn't much better. I think we've really fumbled the bag for European ticket sales. And I think we were expecting to ride the high of, being in Europe. And as much as I love Aston Villa in Europe, this is now our third consecutive season of it. That kind of awe factor of being in Europe probably starting to wear off, where we probably shouldn't be, getting people to spend ridiculous amounts of money on playing BSC Young Boys, who probably are the level of a championship side. No disrespect to them, but obviously teams in England make more money and we get to buy better players. The level they're at, maybe not championship, but definitely lower Premier League side. And you can see that. I mean, there are empty seats at Villa Park today. There are empty seats indeed. It is what it is. You've missed it. I appreciate that, Rail. Like I said, I have been busy, but I am back. Hopefully, properly back. I will be live for Villa Wolves. I can absolutely guarantee, unless I lose a limb, I will be live for Wolves. Good shot from Marlon, by the way. It's just been tipped over. He fizzed that. That's another thing that he does that Watkins doesn't do. Watkins doesn't often hit them from distance. I know he had one against Leeds, but that shot he had to be in acres of space for, and even then he was only just outside the penalty area, and he still put it wide. Daniel Marlon, players on him, decides to fizz one. I mean, it's a terrific save to tip it over the bar. But like it's a little bit like John Duran, how he kind of used to play as well, where he just confidently strike the ball. Doesn't matter really where he was. And Ollie's not that kind of player. That's another missed chance for Villa, by the way, at the far post. I think Onana should have scored. No, I need to see a replay of that. I mean, I think that's a poor miss at the back stick. Wait, does he not get there? Gesson. Oh, it hits him in the thigh. Gesson. That's why Onana's put it over. It's been flicked onto his thigh by Evan Gesson. I'd say it's a poor finish, but he doesn't really finish. He just hits him. Imagine not playing on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Look, there are teams in our league who don't play in Europe at all. I mean, you look at the likes of Manchester United, who are not in Europe. I'd rather play on a Thursday than have to wait a week to play football, I think that's worse. I'd rather be in the Conference League. At least it's something. What a ball that is. Evan Gesson will chase. And he's one-on-one with the keeper. On an angle, though. Oh, he's been defended really well. That might be a goal kick. It will be a corner, I think, though. See, this is what annoys me about Gesson. From where this pass is unreal, by the way, through to Gesson. He is one-on-one if he takes it confidently. But the defender just comes across, and I think he has to be a little bit stronger there, Gesson. He either has to try and outrun him or be stronger with the ball. He kind of does neither. We take it short. Sancho has a shot into the hands of the keeper. To be fair, 6 minutes into this game, we are peppering their goal. It's been a pretty good game of football so far, from an Aston Villa point of view. Still haven't scored, though. Predictions for Palace against Strasbourg. Palace will do well. I can see Palace even winning the Conference League, to be honest, with the squad that they have. I know Strasbourg aren't an easy game, especially with their kind of dodgy deal that they have with Chelsea, where they do actually have some talent. But I think Palace are pretty good, and they'll probably comfortably win that. I'm just going to say I don't like Strasbourg. I kind of don't like a lot of what Chelsea do. They just kind of bend the rules, and then those rules eventually get fixed, and then they find other rules to bend, and I don't know. Oh, what a cross from Rodgers, by the way, which Marlon flies into, and he doesn't quite get the contact. That's a terrific ball in from Morgan Rodgers. I mean, Marlon really throws himself at it. It's very unlucky. But a very, very dangerous whipped-in ball that managed to reach the penalty spot and away. Oh, you are right. We should be finishing these chances. We've already had several. It's been 7 minutes. And I don't want to say what it reminds me of, but this gives me vibes of Go Ahead Eagles, where we peppered their goal, struggled to score, and then we go and concede on the break. Obviously, you don't want that to happen. Our form at home has been very good. Would be nice if we can take a chance or two. Gesson does well to find Rodgers into Onana. Back to Rodgers again. Or to Gesson on the byline. Gesson's cross. I mean, he just overhits it every time. It does fall to the far side. That's a great pass into Maatsen. He slips as he crosses, and that will be a goal kick. I mean, from the overhit cross from Gesson, which he loves to do, and Maatsen slipping over, that is not the greatest of last few seconds for Aston Villa that we've ever seen. Rodgers' redemption arc needs to be talked about more. He's been terrific. And another talking point today, which I want to make, is I've seen loads of people criticise Leeds, and especially their goalkeeper, for Rodgers' free kick. And I'm very glad Joe Hart talked about this on Match of the Day as well. The technique of Rodgers is so good. It literally wrong foots the keeper. I will not blame their keeper for the reason why Rodgers scored that. His technique, which Austin McPhee came up with, is unbelievable. His position of his body and the way he strikes the ball, their keeper was expecting the ball to go in the opposite corner, and when it didn't, you just kind of stuck to the floor. And I had loads of people being like, "Oh, the keeper's terrible. Like any keeper would have saved it." I'm like, "You're not looking at everything there. You're just seeing a shot not quite hit the corner and go in. You have to look at everything there. The body position and the technique completely ruined the keeper, and it would have happened to a lot of goalkeepers. Some of the better keepers in the league, it would have happened to, but because it's a Leeds keeper who notoriously isn't great, and Leeds notoriously don't have good goalkeepers, it's just been labelled as that. But that's just something I wanted to say. Not many players would be able to do what Rodgers did. 100%. Just reading more comments. Villa, the club of corrupt politicians and royal family. Well, Tolly, I'm sure you have some very nice things to say about Aston Villa. 1-0 Sancho. That would be really nice. I'd like that. I don't think Sancho has been as bad as what some people say he has been. He's heavily criticised at Chelsea, heavily criticised at United. I think he's had his moments at Villa. I would like to see him do well. Tolly also is not only negative about Aston Villa, negative here too, saying, "What would I know about goalkeeping? I've played the game. Although I wasn't a goalkeeper, you understand more about the sport when you play it." Now, admittedly, it's been a couple of years, but I did play in sixth form as part of my level 3. I literally had to study in order to play. Enjoyed my time there. That was great. I feel old now. I will say I do feel very old. Pushing 30 these days. Jesus. But when you play the game, you'll understand the game. 11 minutes gone at Villa Park, still goalless between two sides. It's a shame we lost, I will say. Losing to Go Ahead Eagles, especially of all the teams to lose to, I feel like we could have very easily gone unbeaten this whole league phase. And especially the manner that we lost as well. I'd rather have lost to... it was Feyenoord, I think, when they were by far the better team. But Bizot in goal was terrific, and we took our chances. As few as we got them, we took our chances on the day. But we probably didn't deserve to win that game. And then Go Ahead Eagles, we were all over them. Missed so many chances. Gesson, I think, missed like 2 1-on-1s. We missed a penalty, and you'd rather lose a game. You deserve to lose a game than lose in the way that we did, especially to the team that we did. But we responded well against Maccabi. It was a very simple game in the end. The first half needed a couple saves from Martinez, but I think it was quite a simple match. And a little bit frustrating in this game. Another shot from Tielemans into the hands of the keeper. I don't think he's ever going to score from there. I do question sometimes when players go for goal from like 30 plus yards. And I'm like, you really have to hit that well. Bear in mind the keeper's not exactly off his line. But they, in fairness, cannot seem to break through us. And every time they get the ball, we get it back very, very quickly. Bogard into Gesson. They're already very deep. Their furthest player forward is about 30 yards from their goal. Just to give perspective. Anana, good ball into Rodgers on the right-hand side on the byline. Into Gesson. Oh, Gesson tries to turn inside. Really good defending, but he does concede a corner with a heavy touch. Gesson tries to nutmeg. I think it's Petch, or is it Peck? And he tries to nutmeg him anyway. It's very good defending. Very solid. Where you been? I have been away. Got a new job recently in software. And I've just had that time off with that. Probably could have come back a little bit sooner. Been But yeah, here I am today. That's all that matters. There we go. I don't really get negative people online. You know, if you don't like someone, you don't have to go and watch their stuff. I see like people leave comments on YouTube videos of even some really famous people, and I'll see TikTok comments that are just plainly negative, and I'm just like, if you don't like something, just don't watch it. There are people I don't like. There are YouTubers I don't like. I don't go and leave comments. You have to be such like, I don't know, obsessed. It's really strange. You have to be so rent free in order to be that kind of person. I'll never understand it. Very bizarre. By the way, Tielemans is having loads of things getting thrown at him, which he's complaining at. We take it short into Sancho. Cuts it back to Maatsen. Oh, less said about that, the better. That's a really poor shot. Tries to bend it. Trying to be Arjen Robben. And he's more like Ryan Obben. There you go. Terrible. But you know what? At least we're having shots on goal. I suppose I'd rather this than tippy-tappy, 65% possession, 2 shots in the whole game. So I'd rather us have a go, I suppose. We're trying to press them very high up here. That might have gone out, by the way. Did that not go out for a corner? Well, Morgan Rogers was appealing that the keeper accidentally played it out for a corner to Villa. The referee did not agree. I appreciate you, Benjamin. Villa, the only team to make Liverpool look good. I know. You know what's really funny with that, though? Is you would expect, if Villa to do that, you would expect Villa to not have been very good recently, right? Because that would make sense. To make Liverpool not only look good, they were comfortable in that game. You would think Villa would also match the idea of, them also not playing well. Villa have won 9 of our last 11. Like, Villa have been unbelievable. Bear in mind, we didn't score a Premier League goal for the first 4 games of the season. I think we only scored, 1 in 5, 2 in 7? Like, we had a torrid start to the season. But our form recently has been nothing short of incredible. And yet we still lost to Liverpool. 9 wins in 11 is outrageous. No matter how you want to twist that. And we're up to 4th in the Premier League. I don't think many people expected that from our start. I saw a lot of people saying, Villa back to mid-table mediocrity. And I always said at the very beginning, look, I wasn't happy with results, but I said we have to be patient. And you can't be reactive as football fans, even though we want to be. Good save, Martinez, by the way. Young Boys try and hit Villa on the break. The offside flag comes up now. It was Caicedo had the shot. But, even then at the start of the season, when a lot of people into my chat, a lot of people who obviously don't like Villa laughing at me and saying stuff like Villa, the fall from grace is finally here. Unai Emery's torrid season's going to happen. All that shite, basically. And I said then, you can't be reactive as a fan. You've got to keep level-headed, and you got to think okay, things aren't great now, but we know how good this team can be. We know how good the manager is, and things will eventually sort themselves out. And that's exactly what happened. And yet, when I was saying those kind of things a few months ago, some non-Villa fans especially were laughing at that idea, thinking that we were going to keep up this form for the rest of the season. And at the same time, I also said about Liverpool, I said, people would be criticising Liverpool if they didn't get those 90-plus minute winners. And I was saying, I was watching them play and they were okay, but they probably didn't deserve to win some of the games they won in the last minute. And that's also aged brilliantly because they're shite now. You can't just rely on 90-minute winners every week. And eventually those 90-minute winners dried up. And ironically, what caused it was Crystal Palace getting a 90th minute winner against them. How you doing? Is it Romana, I'm going to say. What's good? And still bummed about Go Ahead Eagle. Yeah, I kind of am. I think that result was annoying. But it's one result. We've been very good in the Europa League other than that. So we'll take it. Plus, at home, we're incredible in Europe. We have been very good at home. All 3 seasons we've been in Europe under Unai Emery, our home form has been exceptional. It's away we've struggled. Away, I'm still not convinced with how we play. Even away in general with Unai Emery, I just wish we had a slightly different system away from home. I don't think our style of play is very good away from home. I think it suits us with this pitch and the stadium. We know it very well. And I think we could play a little bit more passive and a little bit more counter-attacking away from home. And that might suit us a little bit more. We'll see. You know, I trust in Unai more than anything else, in fairness. He's playing better. I can't watch it in my country. I mean, it's been 20 minutes. Villa, I think, have been on top. Young Boys did go close a moment ago when Emi Martinez had to make a save, but Villa have had a few chances already in this game. And, I mean, there's another world where I think we could have easily taken one of those. Yeah, I mean, that attack for Young Boys has just kind of summed up their game. And what a pass into Guessond on the break for Villa. Guessond, he plays like he's got Timberlands on, man. I really want to back every player. I really do, but Guessond makes it so hard. Because I don't know what the scouts were thinking when they watched this guy. I really don't. Because usually with players, especially ones that you want to develop, there's something they can do really well. I've yet to see anything Guessond excels at. He's kind of all right at a few things, and he's terrible at others. His first touch is often abysmal. His dribbling can be okay, but he doesn't turn very well. He's a bit clunky. His shooting is pretty dire. His heading is non-existent. I don't know what he does. I will say he tracks well, but he can't defend. So it's like, well, he's there in the positions to defend. Like, I wouldn't say he's lazy. He does track and help the fullback, but often he's just beaten to it by a winger. His tackling isn't great. I know it's not his job technically, but his tackling isn't very good. I feel like he doesn't really do a lot of things very well. It drives me insane, to be honest. That's just how it is. I don't know. Maybe he can develop into a top player. Still young, but he frustrates the life out of me when I see him play. Which is why he doesn't start, I think. What a cutback that is. Bogard has a chance. Oh, good block. Really good block. Bogard, though, in acres of space. I tell you what, I actually really rate how Sancho started this game as well. I think Sancho's been quite oppressive down the right hand side. I think Young Boys have struggled defending Jadon Sancho. I think his link-up play with Maatsen is usually pretty good. Obviously, both former Dortmund players, and he also finds another one in Marlon. Marlon to Bogard again in space, finds Guesson. Guesson's first cross is charged down. He gets it back again. Left-footed ball in. Goes nowhere. There's so many players to aim at Evan Guesson. Like, seriously. I know it's his weaker foot, but so many options for Guesson. And he doesn't get any of them right. We've already seen, by the way, and it's only been 20 minutes, 2 unreal long passes from Yuri Tielemans. I mean, that man is just incredible. I genuinely believe he is a top player. You could argue he's our best player. To me personally, I'd say our best value player is Boubacar Kamara, but Tielemans is probably second to that. And I think we did miss Tielemans when he wasn't here. Some will say Rodgers, but I like more the background, the dirty work that Kamara does. And here is Rodgers as well. Rodgers hooks it towards far post. Should be a goal. Oh my God, Marlon manages to get it all wrong. I mean, how is that not a goal for Villa? What? How have we not scored? Delightful cross from Rodgers. Far post. Really good header into the box. I think is it the fact that it's a little bit behind Marlon when this header comes in? It's a cushion header, though. How has he missed that, Marlon? He's watched that all the way, and he doesn't even connect with the ball. He just swings his foot past it and then has his head in his hands. Very, very perplexing miss. I mean, we did everything right, but the most important part, which was the shot. I can't believe we messed it up. Very strange. And yeah, look, Young Boys will have every player on the ball. Like it's gonna happen. They're gonna try and play defensive against Villa. I don't blame them for that at all. So I just apologise. My camera's a bit lower than I wanted it to be. Yeah, I don't blame them for playing that way. I don't think it's a problem for them playing that way anyway. I imagine most teams against us in this competition will set up defensively, probably low block and try and hit us on the counter attack with a little bit of a counter press. As soon as we get over the half line, they'll probably just shuffle back into more of a structured formation with maybe, the furthest player forward being 40 yards away from their goal. We've already seen very deep defending from Young Boys. They do play long, looking for... Cordova, he's offside. He's a good player, but Cordova, getting him involved might be difficult for them. I don't want to talk about a Chelsea match. It's like the entire squad lost their footballing ability. Lie detector. Oh dear. It wasn't the greatest game for Barcelona, in truth. I'm a Dortmund fan. It pains me to see former Dortmund players perform outside us. It's kind of weird that we have 3 Dortmund players at Villa. And they all interchange their passes, with Sancho and Maatsen being down the left. And Marlon, they form like a triangle. In fact, they're literally a triangle as I speak. As they play the ball in between the 3 of them. Got our own Dortmund Villa thing going on down the left-hand side. Here's Bogard. Looking for options. Does find Tielemans. Clips a pass in towards Marlon! Yeah! The Don scores! It's not the cleanest of goals. It's in off the post. But what do I say about Donyell Marlon? What do I say about this man? Whoa! He's had something thrown at him. Whoa! Some of their fans are vile. They've just thrown something. It hits Marlon's head. Well, the away fans are not happy with Donyell Marlon, with him scoring, and they've just started lobbing stuff. Terrific goal from Marlon. I mean, look, you can criticise the fact he's missed chances. His head's cut. They cut his head. Oh my God, his head's bleeding. Vile away fans throwing stuff at Marlon as he goes to celebrate his goal. I mean, that's disgusting. That they're throwing stuff at him. And it's that significant that it's actually cutting his head. I mean, he immediately started to hold his head. I mean, it's just awful. It's absolutely awful. Not happy with that at all. Just give me a second, guys. Well, we haven't even got confirmation there's been a goal. But the fact that that's even happened in the first place, that they've thrown stuff at him. Whoever's thrown the specific thing that's cut his head should have consequences against him. I mean, that's just have consequences against him. I mean, I do genuinely believe that is just absolutely vile. I mean, I do genuinely believe that is just absolutely vile. I mean, I do genuinely believe goals given 1-0 Villa. I mean, I do genuinely believe. There we go. I've just updated the score. I need to remember to do that, by the way, over on the red platform, to change the score when necessary. Marlon should have 2 or 3 banners. True, but unlike Ollie Watkins, I don't want to just use this as a reason to, take the mick out of Ollie Watkins. At least Marlon tries. And he's going to try again it. Marlon forced out wide. Where Ollie, I feel like Ollie's work rate when getting into attacking positions goes a little bit when he's not confident. And I think Marlon in general makes better runs than Ollie Watkins anyway, and finds himself in better, in better positions. Up the Villa from an Arsenal fan says, Coach Kaiser, mate, you must be very happy with how Arsenal have been this season. And look, I like Lee Gunner, but he looks like a right clown with how Arsenal have been this season. So I'm sure you are absolutely delighted. Top of the league in both. What I will say though, with how not only with how well Arsenal have been playing, and the points that they are clear of in first, I don't think Chelsea are going to exactly put up a title fight. I think if you don't win the league from this point on, I don't think you ever do it. Like with Mikel Arteta, I think this is it. I think this is literally it. Because if they bottle it again, especially from this position with how well you've been playing, if they bottle it again, I don't see how it's possible for Arsenal to ever win the league with the current squad and the current manager. But I think you will do it. I think this is finally the year, in truth. Because no other team seems to be up for it. Like I said, the fact that Villa, bear in mind Villa lost, not lost, sorry. I mean, we did lose 2 and drawn 2 of our first 4 games. We didn't score a goal in our first 4 Premier League games. And we've gone as high as 4th now. Says the standard of the Premier League this season. 100%. I think it's very telling with how bad some teams have been. The fact that we can start so poorly and have climbed all the way into 4th place. I mean, if we actually started playing football properly from our very first game, we'd arguably be 2nd right now, which is hilarious. Like what is that about? And the fact that we've won 9 of our last 11, and one of the teams we lost to with Liverpool, who've been terrible, is also very funny. But yeah, I think credit where it's due that we've managed to bounce back so well, and hopefully we can keep it up. Be a respect to you. Benjamin says Marlon should have 2 or 3. I think I read that. Probably, but a lot I said about Marlon though. He's a top player and he will just keep continuing. He doesn't seem to, let it bother him if he misses some chances. He'll never, he'll never stop running. He'll never stop making things happen. And I don't mind a player who doesn't always get it right if they just keep going. Where Ollie Watkins phases in and out of games. Like Marlon, the system's the same. It's a 4-4-1-1. And I know you can say maybe the standard of team we're against right now isn't the highest. But he's still making several more chances. Another chance for Villa with Maatsen. Ian Maatsen hooks a cross in. I mean, it's gone really nowhere. Gesson will get it back for Villa. That was a chance though. Maatsen, I think, has gone a little bit selfishly. I think he looked to have a shot himself and then realised he's kind of too far wide. What a tackle, Onana, by the way. Oh, my life. Yeah, I'll say he's a bit inconsistent, Sean, with with his finishing and stuff, but I still think he's the best striker we have. And that might be really harsh on Ollie Watkins, but as of right now, I would want Marlon to start our Premier League games. He won't because Unai loves Watkins, and that's fine. I think he loves what Watkins does off the ball. And Ollie's job with Unai essentially is to just involve everyone else in the team. To work hard, to press high, to make runs sometimes out wide to get other players into the game. I just like a goal scorer. I like someone who's on the end of things and takes chances. I just feel like Ollie struggles to create himself the room. And even when he's having a bit of the graveyard shift and he's not getting many opportunities himself, he doesn't really carve them out for himself either. Doesn't often have a go from range. Like John Duran would shoot from stupid range. And sometimes it would pay off. I mean, was it at Leipzig away? He scored from miles out. Against Bayern, he looped the ball over Neuer from miles out. And it's just something Ollie would never do. And I think that's one of my main criticisms of Ollie. And the reason why he's only scored 1 goal this season is because of that. But yeah. As for Marlon, by the way, his head was cut, but I think it's fine. It did bleed for a little bit, but I think they had a little bit of the physio team come over just to see if he's okay, and he's fine. I don't even think he's not. He doesn't even have a bandage on his head. They just wipe the blood away. I would like to know what was thrown at him though to cause that, because they didn't really show it on the replay. 35 gone at Villa Park, still 1-0 to Aston Villa, and it is that Marlon header in off the post. That is the difference. I'll have a quick look at the league standings as well. Today is our final home game in Europe in 2025. As things stand, Villa are second. This will be our 5th game. If we do win today, we are up to second. Midtjylland, by the way, the only other side who have won every game so far. Not the only other, sorry, the only side who've won every game in Europe in this competition is Midtjylland. They're currently losing 1-0 to AS Roma. So we could tie up on goal difference with them. I mean, you never know, if we get a couple goals here and they concede another, we could go top of the league, which would be very, very nice. Ferencvaros also could win and they would go above everyone else with 4 wins and a draw. There's only, in fact, I think it's the same with, Plitzen, they already drawn 2 and won 2. So yeah, Ferencvaros, Plitzen and Midtjylland are the only sides who are currently unbeaten. But we are yet to draw a game in this competition. Free kick to the Young Boys with just over 10 minutes to go until half time. It's been quite a competent performance so far from Villa. Lamar Bogard looking a little bit uncomfortable here with his knee. It's a bit of a worry. Very much our utility man, Bogard. Someone who seems to just get the job done. Often brought in off the bench, just like he was against Leeds, to kind of see out games. Played in midfield frequently. Obviously starting at fullback today, but I like Bogard. He's quite tidy on the ball. It doesn't typically make many mistakes. Probably not quite good enough to start. I don't think he's good enough to start games typically if we have our best team out. But he is like Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable. I'll say that about Bogard. Pau Torres for Villa. We must have kept like 80% of the ball. They've barely had it. I'm going to have a look. Oh, the stats. I forgot about the stats on screen, guys. I do apologise. We are supposed to have stats on screen. And it's only when I just realised I wanted to see how much possession we had, I realised that our stats are not here. And we have 67%, as you can see. 8 shots to 0. They haven't... Oh, well, that's wrong, no? I swear they had 1. Oh, it was offside. It didn't count as a shot. It was offside, wasn't it? It was offside. It didn't count. It was, their striker had 1 from the edge of the box. But it did not count. I am going to close the poll. I think Aston Villa did win the poll. Which, Aston Villa had 80% of the poll, which I'm not surprised at. Romano earlier said he's as Chelsea fan, an absolute wild right now about Barcelona 3-0. I just read that now. Chelsea were incredible. As much as it hurts me to say that, they were. I mean, the fact that it probably should have been more than 3 is hilarious. The red card was very silly, and I just find Barcelona, for as good as they are, they can be often very stupid, and this is like a frequent thing the last few years. Like some of the decision making and mistakes of Barca players, it is just very hard to comprehend sometimes. But yeah, Chelsea were very good. I thought even Liam Delap, who struggled for goals so far in his Chelsea career, I thought he was very good as well. Just a general all-round good day. Where was Lamine Yamal, by the way? Where was Yamal? Those are the questions. Also, the game's tempo has really halted to a stop almost. The Young Boys do have the ball currently. Let's have a look at scores elsewhere while this game is starting to slow. Roma, like we said, do lead against top of the table Midtjylland 1-0. I will be surprised if they lose that, especially with how well they've done so far in this competition. As we know, Villa lead 1-0 thanks to the Marlon goal. Porto 2, Nice 0. 2 goals from Viega is the difference there. Still goals between Fenerbahce and Varos. Feyenoord 1, Celtic 1. Obviously, Celtic definitely a team that Villa will keep our eyes on in this competition. Along with Feyenoord, to be fair. Like I said, they were very good against us. But it's 1 apiece there. Lyon 2, Dinamo Zagreb 0. Another side that Villa have played in the last couple of years. We played them in the Conference League and beat them on penalties. Correa and Macau, goal scorers there. Chance of Villa, by the way. Bogart's cross, very well defended as Villa look to make it 2-0. Ludogorets need 1-0 against Celta Vigo. I think that would be a disappointing defeat for that Spanish side. You would expect the teams who've qualified from the major nations to have been doing a bit better. I will say, if you look at the league phase, it has been a little bit disappointing from some of these, apparent bigger teams in this competition. Nice are going to go 5 for 5 losses in the competition. Rangers have had a torrid start to their Europa League campaign. Obviously, their manager problem at the start of the season, but they're still not great. Even now, you have the likes of Salzburg. 1 win in 4, currently outside the playoffs for the Europa League. Bologna 1 win in 4. Forest 1 win in 4. Like, there have been some really poor teams. And now, look, towards the top, you are going to see like the better sides, like Freiburg are doing well. Obviously, they're a good German team. Chance of Villa with Marlon. Daniel Marlon! Yeah! Daniel Marlon on the break makes it 2-0 to Aston Villa. I mean, that was fast fire. I can't even get my words out. Fast, free-flowing, high-firing football for Aston Villa. Daniel Marlon, the bald man with the cut on his head, makes it 2-0 to the Villa boys from Aston. That's terrific counter-attacking play. I was trying to just read some scores, and I'm going over the league phase. Suddenly, I'm seeing a ball played into Marlon, and look how confident he takes this. Direct football from Villa can be very nice to watch. Marlon, clear as day onside, in between the centre-back and the full-back. Gets a little bit lucky as he skips inside. I think it ricochets back to him off the defender, but he won't care about that little bit of luck, and he fires it into the net. 2-0 Villa. What has this guy got to do to start Premier League games of football? What has he got to do? Because, wow, he has been amazing so far today. Could have had a hat-trick. He goes to celebrate in front of the Young Boy fans and smiles as they are not happy with him. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Well, what is going on? Whoa! What is going on here? Oh, some of their away fans are fighting with the police. I mean, the captain's gone over to the away end. This is not going well from a Young Boys point of view. This is not great. Their fans have not responded well to going 1-0, especially now 2-0 down. And some of their own players are having to come over to try and calm the situation down. I don't know what could possibly be going that wrong for them that they're doing this. I think some fans are about to be kicked out of the ground here. I mean, they're not showing the scenes, which is a bit annoying. They're just showing pictures of the players. Not entirely sure what that was about. So many police have come down to try and help sort the situation out, but their fans are not happy. Very interesting situation here. I think it says a lot that their captain's gone over as well to try and help diffuse the situation. The referee is talking to the captain as well. The captain, I mean, the commentators think maybe the captain has said to the referee that Donyell Marlon celebrating in front of the Young Boys fans has riled them up a little bit. But like, what is he supposed to do? They threw stuff at his head after he scored the first goal. I'm gonna be if that's me, the first thing I'm doing after I score my second goal is going straight to him again. And all he did was knee slide and smile at him. He didn't point, he didn't shush, he didn't cuff his ear. He just did a little knee slide and smiled. And apparently that was enough for them to start, misbehaving in the away end again. Absolutely ridiculous. What weirdos. A goal's very good. First goal was a cross-in from the right-hand side. Flick on header from Marlon, which got tipped onto the post and it trickled in over the line. Second goal, counter-attacking, direct play from Villa. We played 2 passes that cut between their back line. Marlon, I mean, this is, again, I don't want this to be like I'm criticising Ollie Watkins' stream. I don't want it to just be that. But there's no way Ollie would be that confident and, take a risk in trying to cut inside like that. I think Ollie would rather, be forced out wide, wait for other players to get involved and then cut the ball back. Where Marlon's very direct. Gets in a good attacking situation, gets a bit lucky with a ricochet, doesn't matter. That some would say he gets a bit lucky because it comes back to him, but he took his chance, 2-0. He should be starting games. It frustrates the life out of me that he doesn't start games. He's outscored Watkins by a ridiculous amount this season, considering the very, infrequent game time he's had. And thus says, why are you beating Young Boys? Oh dear. Every time. That's why I hate playing them. I had these jokes when we last played them a year ago. And we're going to have it again. Are your opponents good? They're not terrible, but their fans are being vile, is what I'll say about that Muldooney. They're okay. They're the best team in Switzerland, but I mean, the standard there is not the same as the standard here, to be polite. Yeah. Their fans are weird, all because a football match they lose. It's ridiculous. All because, so, first of all, what started all this in the away end was Donyell Marlon scoring, going over there and doing a knee slide. And he doesn't taunt the fans. As he turns away, one of their fans throws something that cuts his head and makes his head bleed. Like, how is a player doing the knee slide next to you upset you that much? How has that possibly happened? It's ridiculous. And then, because they've thrown something and it's cut his head, obviously, you're going to want to go over and make fun of some of those fans who did that. Right? Obviously. Right? So when he goes and scores his second goal, he does a little knee slide and he just smiles at them. Big teethy grin, smiles at them, turns away, that's it. But of course, their fans go absolute apeshit and start throwing stuff and the police having to get involved. But they had 20 police down the front, stopping some of their fans from going mental. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All he did was smile. How is smiling at them enough to make them lose their shit? Did they? I'm not being funny. Maybe if they expected to beat us today, you could maybe understand it a little bit. But it's not like there's a rivalry. We were very heavily favourites to win this game. I mean, the odds on Villa, I saw earlier today, the odds on Villa winning 4+0 was better than Young Boys getting a win. I don't know what they were expecting. Marlon's got it again here. Oh, lovely play. Should be 3-0. Oh, what a block. I mean, Sancho probably should have made that 3-0. It's really good defending. I mean, I can imagine them kicking off again. I want Marlon to get his hat-trick and him to run all the way down the other end and do the Adebayor. Because it's probably going to be half-time here. When he makes it 3 in the second half, I want him to run the length of the field and start celebrating in front of the fans again. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Maldini. Yeah, all he did. Oh, what the away fans did? They've just been throwing stuff. I said one of their fans threw something that cut Marlon's head. Like his head was bleeding, and it's now turned into a lump, and you can very clearly see the cut still there. It's just a very, very bizarre football team, man. Very bizarre. And now there's been like such a stoppage of play that we're well over the initial 4 minutes now. It's probably going to run for another couple of minutes beyond this too. Still 2-0 Villa though. And I didn't update the scoreline like an idiot because I've only just thought of that now. Because why wouldn't I change the score? You know? Why wouldn't I do that? At least it's given me time to do that, I guess. I doubt anything's going to happen now until half time. But it's been quite a competent performance. I think we've been pretty good today. You know, there was a potential banana peel, I suppose, with them, with Cordova being up front and maybe them hitting us on the break. But I think we've dealt with them very comfortably. They haven't even registered a shot. The only shot they had eventually didn't even count as a shot because the offside flag went up. And we're now coming up to half time. It has been one wave traffic pretty much the entire first half. And yeah, I mean, from a Villa point of view, it can't get any better than that. And that is half time. And it is the Daniel Marlon show, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say it, and I'll keep saying it. Marlon should be playing first team football for Aston Villa. I don't care what anybody says. I know some will say Marlon is a good impact sub, and I agree. Marlon is a good impact sub, but you know how much more impactful he'll be if he starts games. You know, like he started against Burnley and got a brace, and his reward for that was not starting the very next game. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I know Unai loves Watkins. I think his love has to be, you know, pushed down a couple pegs here because it's clearly not benefiting us that much when Marlon can be this good. And like, some people will sit here and say, oh, but AJ, it's only young boys. Ollie would not have a brace at halftime. I'd put my house on it. He would not have a brace at halftime against a team like this. There is no way. Ollie hasn't had a brace all season. Ollie scored 1 goal all season. Ollie says, I think it'll be Roma Villa final. That'd be very interesting. Roma I think, are the team to look at. I mean, let's have a look at the teams here. Freiburg still unbeaten. Ferencváros still unbeaten. Midtjylland have been very good. They are losing 1-0 to Roma. Roma are beatable though. They did lose to Plitzen. They lost to Lille. They're a beatable side. Betis, obviously, we know that they're okay as well. Chelsea played them in the cup final last year in the Conference League. Who are the concerns in this competition? I'm looking down the table. Feyenoord are way better than what their league position says. I don't get it. Feyenoord, I think, are a very good team. I have no idea how they've lost 4 games. That confuses the life out of me. They were far better than Villa when we played them. It's just Villa took our chances, and we had a very good goalkeeping performance on the day from Marco Bizot. I'm stunned that they're 30th in this league table. Other teams to look out for. Stuttgart, I think, could be a problem, potentially. Celtic, very good team. They're not having the best of seasons. Even in their league and in Europe. But they are still a team to worry about, obviously. So Stuttgart, Celtic, Fenerbahce have a very good team. I don't think their results have properly match that. I mean, they're very good in their league, but Europa League is a different story. Yeah, they're still unbeaten in their league, but Europa League has been a different story, with them kind of struggling, sitting around mid-table in this league phase. But I think PSG didn't do very well in the league phase last year, and they won the whole thing. So maybe the league phase doesn't really matter. Liverpool, I mean, they went out first. They won the league phase, went out in the first round after that. So maybe it means genuinely nothing. Like we said, Betis could, they could do okay. They're still unbeaten, and they got to the Conference League final. So I'm going to try and remember this. So Stuttgart, Celtic, Fenerbahce, Roma, Lille, Betis, Porto. I'm more worried about teams like Porto as well. And Freiburg. As much as Midtjylland have done well, they're not probably one of the teams I'm looking at. I mean, they beat Stern Graz, who are not fantastic. They beat Forest, who were under Ange Postecoglou at the time. Tel Aviv, who we know are terrible. And Celtic. I mean, the Celtic one is not bad, actually. That's not an easy game to... an easy team to beat, so fair enough. But they are losing to Roma now. But probably the favourite is Roma. I think the favourite of the whole competition is probably Roma, to be honest. Some would say Villa. I still don't think Villa. I'll personally not say Villa because we haven't won a trophy since '96. And even as a Villa fan, I love this club. I think realistically, you just cannot make a team favourite when they haven't won a trophy in what? Nearly 30 years? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. We're not used to doing it. We're used to being in finals, but we bottle finals. Like, it frustrates the life out of me. We've been to... I think we've lost our last 4 domestic cup finals, which is horrid. 2020 to City, 2015 to Arsenal, 2010 to Man United, and I think year 2000 to Chelsea. Hello, Ginger. It'll be another 30 before you win one. Will you be in the Premier League by then? Or will you be in the Championship / League One for another, decade plus? With your upside down table as a stadium. Which I find hilarious that you want to have a 62,000 seat stadium when you can't even sell out your ground now. I mean, look, if you want to look like MK Dons in the Championship, then be my guest. I just think big grounds at clubs that don't fill the ground is a bad look, man. I don't know. I'm not even saying that as from a Villa fan with rivalry banter. Like, that aside, I still think it's not a good idea. I think you have to be not only Premier League, but established Premier League to even have that as an idea, personally. But you do you. You do you. I remember the days of the Chinese owner when you had 10,000 at a game. Then the asbestos in the stands where you had to rip the seats out because the ground's falling apart. You lot are funny rivals. I can't lie. Very funny rivals. Seen the replays of the goals, by the way. I mean, lovely. It was Yuri Tielemans' cross, by the way, and I've not given Yuri Tielemans anywhere near the credit that I should have for this game. Tielemans has been brilliant. Some of the through balls that he provides. He has to be one of the best direct passers, in the Premier League. Has to be. The passes he can find are outrageous at times. That was a bit more of a simple cross, but it's still an unbelievable find. And then again, you don't have to play tippy-tappy football to win games. It's 2 direct passes. First from Onana into midfield. Lovely first touch. Was it by Morgan Rogers? Yeah, Rogers' first touch is brilliant. Plays in Marlon. I mean, again, the revival of Morgan Rogers has been brilliant this season as well. It didn't start very well. It didn't end the season well last year. Didn't start this season very well either, but he has been very good recently. And yeah. Once again, another great pass from him. Another nice assist. And they're showing the captain going over to the Young Boys fans, asking them to not throw stuff, man. Yeah, Lee. So Marlon Brace, a header and a right-footed finish. I will say you could question their keeper because the shot actually wasn't it wasn't as much in the corner as I thought it was. But he's just blasted it that hard that it's gone through the keeper before he can react. But yeah, so far so good from Villa. Ginger's first Birmingham fan I've seen on TikTok. I get a lot of them. I had a lot of them when they were in League One, and we were in I think we were Conference League, and I was like, your day in Europe is like you hope to play Swansea in a cup game, like that's your European potential trip. And then no, it was Wrexham. Sorry, tell a lie. It's because they're in League One with Wrexham. Or was it with Wrexham? I can't remember the joke I used to make. But essentially, they were laughing at Villa. I think we lost the game in Europe, and I had some Blues fans chat shit as always, and I'm like, "You're in League One." Like that, I know it's a derby and it's a rivalry between the two clubs, but like you have to have a level of shamelessness to even remotely say anything about your rival when you're several divisions down. Like it's like Port Vale having a laugh at Stoke. So it's just kind of sad. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I suppose, you know, historic rivalry, whatever. But if it wasn't for the historic rivalry in the last like 20 plus years, and they're lucky that the two teams hate each other so much that it keeps the relevancy going, because they have just been very, very shit in the last 20 years. I mean, they haven't beaten Villa at Villa Park since 2005. Score is 2-0 Aston Villa, mate. Daniel Marlon brace. Marlon at the double. Yeah, very good. Very, very good. I just had a Blues fan said there's a 2-year waiting list for a season ticket at Blues. Which, by the way, is very funny because even if that is true, and let's say it is, where was that when they were shit? You know the whole chant of like, where were you when you were shit? I'm thinking that now. So before they got took over, their ground was incredibly empty every single game. You'd have more empty seats than like bums in seats. But they get a new owner and suddenly apparently there's now a 2-year waiting list for you know, for fans to get a season ticket. Well, where were you when you were shit? Alright, so what's the capacity it's under? It can't be very big. 29,000. Is that it? No wonder you're getting a new ground. That's shite. 29,000. I mean, you didn't sell out the last game. So I'm literally going by what's out there. So they played Norwich City and sold 28,000 tickets. There's still nearly 2,000 more tickets. They just weren't sold. So, you know, maybe that's just a one-off. You got Birmingham against Millwall, 25,000. So now there's 4,000 tickets that weren't sold. Like, how about we go further? Birmingham against Hull, 27,000. I'm not seeing 29,000 seats, 29,000 tickets sold there. But apparently there's a 2,000. There's a 2-year waiting list for season tickets. But I'm not seeing full ground there. Blues Sheffield Wednesday, 27,000. Blues Swansea, 27,000. Where are these Blues against Port Vale? Okay, this one's in the cup, but still 21,000. Blues against Oxford, 27,000. It's again like 2,000. That's a lot of seats missing. Blues against Sheffield United, League Cup. Again, I'll say that 16,000. Half the ground. Half the ground. I prefer not to speak. That, you know, I don't have to say anything. Don't have to say a single thing. Moving on. Up the Villa says, I can't even read. Oh my, what is that text? L? Is that an? It's like a backwards E. I'm going to call you Legrand, which is a very funny way to say it. It says up the Villa. I love the font for that. That is beautiful. George says, what's the score? 2-0. Well in, up the Villa. Young Boys fans should be ashamed. Yo, they were disgraceful. I mean, that's another topic altogether. Absolutely disgraceful. When your captain's having to go over and tell you to calm down, that's when you know you're being a little shit in the away end. It just is what it is. That's when you know. Your captain is embarrassed. Ridiculous. Some trouble there before half time was. Yeah. I mean, getting pissed off at someone knee sliding in front of you and smiling, if that's enough to piss you off, the sport might not be for you. Bear in mind, they threw something at his head that cut his head. And they had the audacity to get mad. That's crazy. That is crazy. Villa posted, a plastic cup won't stop the Don. I love it. I love it. Absolute Cinemarlin has posted as well. I love it. I love it. Daniel with a brace. He's getting hat trick. Oh, we do. We would love a Daniel hat trick. Oh, please. Please. A Daniel hat trick would feed families out here. Oh my god. It also would shut up a lot of people as well about him not starting games. Marlon's got them rattled, is one of the comments I'm seeing online. Scummy bastards. We've also read essentially the same jokes over and over. Solid first half. They posted 45 minutes of Marlon. Oh, 45 minutes of Marlon is better than 3 months of Ollie. Eesh. I mean, it's true. Oh, I made the joke as well. I wanted Marlon to do the Adebayo and someone else had said it too. I'd look. Can you imagine if Marlon did score and ran the length of the field to celebrate in the win? I would love it. I will love it. I will love it. And I think I deserve. What a team. We're coming up for the second half. The Villa boys from Aston are cruising in this Europa League game. I mean, I think they still haven't registered a shot. Yep, 36% of the ball. You can see it on screen. For some reason, that message, by the way, from Paul was hidden. How you doing, Paul? Piss Jane. What is good? The BSC Young Boys have been slapped by the Villa boys. Let's hope it continues. Commentators are blaming Marlon. I mean, the commentators are dumb as shit. Because, like I said, and look, they can say what you're morally supposed to do. If someone throws something at your head and it cuts your head to a point where it's bleeding, right? You're gonna then celebrate in front of them if you score. I'd have done more. I would have shushed them. I'd have gone right over to him and done a lot more. Marlon is a much better man than I, because I would have done a lot more than what he did. And that was enough for them to lose their shit. All he did was a little knee slide. He didn't even do the knee slide like next to them. He did it towards them. I think he was still just about in the box as he did the knee slide. That's how far away he was from the away end. He got up and then smiled and turned away. And that was enough for them to lose their shit. And the commentators blaming Marlon for that is outrageous. Maybe they shouldn't throw their dummy out the pram. And I said it earlier and I'll say it again. What did they expect from today? It's like they're reacting angrily to losing. They surely knew they were going to lose today. Like, most likely. I know not it's football. Anything can happen in football. But we were the heavy, heavy favourites to win today. Like I said, the bookies had more faith in us winning 4-0 than them winning at all. If the bookies have more faith in you getting hammered 4-0, then how are you upset you're losing away? Like, honestly, what utter crybabies, man. They can't celebrate when you scored in case it happened. It's ridiculous. Absolute woke nonsense. Like I said, I want him to do the Adebayor and run the length of the field and cup his ear. Do a little knee slide. Do a little knee slide. I want it all. I want it all. I mean, that is a foul, a free kick to Villa and a yellow card as well. In fairness, HS, I do think Maccabi Tel Aviv should have been banned for the game, but I mean that's another conversation. If you're gonna ban Russian teams, you gotta be fair. You can't have one rule for one and not the other. That's just what it is, you know. Like I said, if they want to unban the Russian teams, that's fine. You just have to do what you can't have different rules for different teams, man. Free kick to Villa on the halfway line. And it will be Lindelof to take both teams to score. Look, I don't typically rate Villa defensively, especially when you've got Lindelof at the back and Bogart at fullback. But the young boys have been very shit. Very, very shit. Rare Villa fan spitting facts. Rare Villa fan W question mark? Yes, I wouldn't put money on young boys scoring. I mean, like I said, they haven't registered a shot. So the only shot they had literally got removed as a shot because it was offside. So even with our defensive frailties at times, I would be surprised with how this game has panned out if they did score. But you never know. It's football. Anything can happen. They could score. But I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Sancho offering nothing yet again. I don't necessarily agree. I think he should have scored. Look, I'll come in the middle here and say I think he should have scored to make it 3-0. Right? He had that chance by the penalty spot, middle of the goal. And it's a good block, but he probably should have scored. Other than that, I think he's been pretty good down the left-hand side. He's quite tidy on the ball. Look, he hasn't exactly, moved mountains, or he's not gone and been anywhere near our best player today. I just think he's done the basics well, and maybe the standards are low for me to be impressed with that. I think he's done better than Gesson. Like I'd much rather have the conversation about how shit Gesson is. As a Villa family, think Villa should do Volley. Bench him. Look, I can come across quite negative, right? I try and keep this page as real as possible. And I don't say things for interactions. I don't say things for likes, views, whatever. I keep them as real as I can. Like you would have a chat in the pub after a game, whatever. I will honestly, I will support any player at Villa. I even supported Olsen. Olsen was fucking shit and it drove me insane at Villa at times. I will support any player we have. However, I am also allowed to criticise players when they're not doing well. I don't think Ollie has done enough to start games. Especially when we're doing very well. Well, I think we're doing well in spite of him, not because of him. We've won 9 games in 11. And I think we would have possibly won maybe one more if we had Marlon start, who knows? Because Marlon is a lot better than Watkins in shooting positions. I think maybe Ollie can press a bit better, and maybe Ollie is a little bit more unselfish at times when we need it to be, but Marlon is very selfish when we want him to be. And the goals that Marlon has scored today, I don't think Ollie scores them, especially not the second one. There's no way you're telling me when Ollie gets that ball that he cuts inside and fires it in. What would happen with Ollie is that he would play the more conservative way of just slightly drifting out towards the left and then waiting for other options and then cutting the ball back to them. And maybe we get a goal off that, but Ollie's not the one to score it. So this is why I think Marlon should start our games. And look, there's the idea that Marlon's a very good impact sub, and he is very good impact sub, but I think he'd be more impactful if he starts games and has more time in games. And maybe Ollie would be a better impact sub himself with the way that he presses and the energy he can provide. Maybe that's better off the bench as well. You know? I'm not saying I don't think I don't think Watkins is a poor player by any means. I just think he's off form and probably doesn't deserve to start right now. You know? I mean, look at Marlon's goal. I think there was a stat on screen there. Marlon has scored 5 goals in the Europa League. Was it Europa League? Or was it they just show in general? I can't remember. But I know Ollie's only got 1. That's in all competitions. Green Marlon showing up this season. Ollie will definitely go. Oh yeah, I'm not criticizing like Watkins in general. I'm just saying he's not been great as of recent, and maybe it's a confidence thing. I've always thought Ollie is a confidence player. If things are going well for Ollie, he scores. That's a great pass. Should be 3-0 Villa. Marlon has a hat trick. Is it offside? It might be disallowed. It is offside. I mean, that would have helped my case even more. Marlon had a goal there disallowed. Villa play a long pass and they catch us with the offside trap there. Yeah, he's offside. He's well offside, isn't he? That's a shame. That's a shame. It's really, really well defended, in fairness. And I will say, Rodgers is very unselfish about slotting that across to Marlon. And I think he only did that because Marlon's on a hat-trick, potentially. Duran should have stayed at Villa. I love John Duran, and I genuinely think there's an unreal player in John Duran, but we got a lot of money for him. You got to remember that. We got like 80 plus million for John Duran, which is pretty good considering what we bought him for. I think we bought him for like 15 from like Chicago Fire. And he was a little bit petulant at times, you know, had a little bit of a temper, got a red card away at Newcastle, had a bit of a strop, you know, nearly forced a move to West Ham. It is a very, very weird player. And I feel like he's a very good player on his day, and I do miss John Duran, but it probably was, in the end, a better decision to let him go. Because bro, his name was Captain Chaos, man. And, like, that's a good thing, to be called Captain Chaos, in a way. But your out-and-out best striker probably shouldn't be called that. Because you never know if he was going to have a strop and get a red card and elbow someone. Because he got away with a couple as well. He probably should have had more red cards in his Villa career. He got away with a couple. You never know if you were going to get that or he's going to score like a 40-yard screamer. And it's great for entertainment, but a very strange player. Cross from Gesson towards Mark. Gesson, can you please stop overhitting crosses? He loves to overhit a cross. I will go from rant to rant to rant here. Gesson is the most frustrating player ever. And that's another player I think Crystal Palace were also looking at before Villa went and bought him. You, by the way, have dodged a huge bullet. I think Gesson is absolute shite. I yet to see anything from Gesson that makes me think there's a player there. Genuinely, like every player, to a degree, when you play for a Premier League team, will have like one thing they're good at. At the very least, there'll be one, right? Even some of the worst players that we had at Villa, I'm trying to think. He was shit. Like El Ghazi wasn't great. He was probably the best penalty taker I've ever seen. The guy was if there was ever a penalty, ever, and my life was on the line, and I could pick any player, I'd pick Anwar El Ghazi. That guy could take a pen. All my life, he could take a pen. We played Barrow away in the League Cup, and he Panenka'd it down the middle. In a League Cup game, because he's a psychopath. El Ghazi was very good at that. And in general, his shooting was pretty decent. But his time at Villa, you know, wasn't the best. And he, as a winger, he wouldn't really provide much for our attackers. But at least it's something I can say he was good at. What is Gesson good at? Because his touch is terrible. He's not the quickest. He can't finish. His heading's not very good. He can track back, but his tackling's terrible, so it's almost like he's not there anyway. He runs, like I said, he runs like he has Timberlands on, man. He's very clunky with the ball. I don't see what Gesson does well. He's got some trickery. Yeah, but even then, it's out wide, and it will draw maybe like one more player to him. If that's the best, you got to see my point where I'm coming from here, right? If that's his best attribute, we spent what 25 million on that. That's a lot to spend on for someone who can maybe draw an extra player to him out wide. I don't know. I've yet to see. I've yet to see anything from Gesson that makes me excited about the future at Villa with him. Even the goal he scored against Go Ahead Eagles, he didn't even mean to score. Watch the replay of that goal. It just hits him in the shin. He doesn't really react. It's not like a proper shot. It hits him in the shin and goes in. And then he goes to miss like bigger chances in the game. Like even when he scores goals, he doesn't do very well. He just hits him. Like it's such a frustrating guy to watch sometimes. I remember when we hadn't scored a Premier League goal, and he has a massive chance against Sunderland where he gets the ball middle of the goal on the penalty spot and he hits it down the middle. And like that is literally Evan Gesson to a T. And that's my rant over. That's like a 1.5, 2 minute rant about one player. Anyway, yeah, he's not an upgrade on Bailey. The problem with Bailey is just he's never fit. And I mean, he went to Roma and got injured like straight away to prove my point. And I do like Bailey, but his injuries, bro, his hamstrings are literally made of ham. Like he literally has like actual ham strings. It's crazy. Lindelof's been okay. He's not really been threatened though. We've not defended much in this game at all, but he's quite competent defender. I don't know. I think Man United's defensive frailties were more than Lindelof. Rodgers cross. Was that saved? That's a corner to Villa, I think. No. Seen that replay again. What's going on here? I think Marlon's just had a shot saved as well by Keller. What do you think Unai sees in him? Probably his work rate. Unai likes someone who works hard. That's why he likes Ollie. So Ollie loves to track back. Ollie loves to press. Ollie loves to cause problems, right? And Gesson, one of the few things I'll say about him is that he does actually try and defend. There's not often you'll get a winger who likes to run back. I just don't think his defending's very good. He puts the effort there, but I don't think he doubles up very well. I think there's been several situations this season where he gets dribble past. I don't know. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Bogar's a pleasure to watch. I agree. Oh, Marlon's being subbed off. Boo! I want a hat trick. I get it there. I understand. Maybe that's Marlon starting at the weekend. Maybe that means Marlon starts. He's gone off before the hour mark. Maybe that means he starts against Wolves. Started against Burnley, got 2 goals. Maybe he starts against the worst team in the league. Ollie Watkins is on though. Oh, you better start. Yeah, he should. He won't. Archie. You know as well as I do, he won't. Like, you know it. He definitely shouldn't. I've just read, by the way, Paul. Sorry, I've been reading my TikTok chat a lot. You got time off work? W Mans. I'll keep that noted. But yeah, Archie, you know he won't, because Unai loves his certain players, and look, I love Unai, and whatever Unai says goes. That's fine. I don't really care. The man is an absolute magician. I just wish he didn't love Watkins as much as what he does. And it's because of that. We all know who's going to start against Wolves. Watkins was very good. And again, this will help prove my point, right? Watkins was very good at the Euros. An impact substitution was very good. Scored a ridiculous goal for England to get us into the final. And was a good impact sub. I think Watkins can be like that for Villa. I think he's better going against tired players. He's fairly quick, He's fairly quick, and his pressing very high could cause problems. Especially when, say, we're winning a game, we're dropping maybe a little bit deeper, but Ollie can press up a little bit, maybe cause a mistake. That can happen. I just think he will provide more off the bench, especially when Daniel Marlon is playing pretty well right now. What's going on here? Away fans chucking stuff at him. Oh yeah. Long story short, he scored a goal, celebrated in front of them, and then one of their fans threw either a cup or whatever it was, and it cut his head. Like it literally cut his head, and his head was bleeding. And then he goes, scores his second goal, and because his head was cut by a fan, he does a knee slide, like near-ish to them, smiles at them, turns away, and that got them even more riled up. To a point where like 20 police had to come down the front of the Young Boys supporters, and their captain had to go over to their fans to tell them to calm down. Like I said, are they not embarrassed that their captain is having to go over to them and talk to them like little children and tell them to calm down? I think that's just, to me, I think that's pretty embarrassing. And fair play to their captain for doing it, but I think it's pretty embarrassing that their captains, he felt necessary to have to do that. It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Complete children. Obviously, it's not all of them, but the ones who reacted, complete weirdos. Sorry, but now Watkins needs to be dropped to Marlon's play. We're all in agreement. We are all in agreement about that. Would you place Watkins with Mateta? I like Mateta. I mean, I don't think a single Villa fan would say no to that right now. No, I mean Mateta is a bit older. I know, but so is Watkins. What am I on about? Watkins is not exactly a spring chicken. Jean-Philippe Mateta, I think he's a younger. Yeah, I think most people, especially with the way we play as well. I think I don't think there'd be many Villa fans. Yeah, Watkins is a year older than my life. There wouldn't be many Villa fans who wouldn't take Mateta over Watkins. My criticism of Mateta is his one-on-one finishing is a bit questionable. But at least he still scores goals where Ollie's goals have completely dried up. And look, I think you'd even agree, surely as a Palace fan. Like, there's been a lot of examples you can just take of this season where Mateta will score the harder chances, but then will go with one-on-one and fluff it. And I find that really weird because it's, typically you'd imagine that to be the other way. But he's a presence. He's always a handful, even when he's not playing very well. Yeah, it's kind of mad, isn't it? He scores a lot harder chances than the ones he misses. But even when he's not playing well, he always is. He's always a handful, and I always think I'll often see even when he's not playing well, a couple players going over to try and help deal with him, and even that alone is creating space for his teammates. So even offering that when you're not playing well, that's pretty damn useful. Watkins is a light-skinned Delap. That's hilarious. Oh dear. I think it's harsh on Delap now. Oh, that's a poor pass. Chance of Villa. Sancho towards Watkins. He lost his feet there. He does well, actually, in fairness, to keep balance. He's forced that wide. Cushion pass towards Sancho and we lose it. It's kind of what I'm on about with Ollie. Maybe not the best example to show, but Ollie doesn't often take the risky route and will, if he's forced out wide, will often just go outside willingly. Where like Daniel Marlon, I mean, they tried to force him outside for the second goal and he just used that to skip inside and, he might have got a bit lucky with the deflection as it just dribbled back to him. But, he took the chance, got rewarded for it, made it 2-0. Ollie's just not that kind of player, man. Glasner needs to play. Is it Uchi? Is that the I might be waffling. Is that one from Chelsea? Or am I completely waffling? I might be completely waffling. I am waffling. Oh dear. I don't know who I'm on about then. Yeah. He's the loney. Yeah. I think I've seen him in is it the Conference League he's played some games in? I think I've seen him there. Dylan says he went from Player of the Year contender in 23-24 to shit within 2 seasons. Oh, well, honestly, I wouldn't say shit, but he's just been off it. Oh, I think Ollie's he's a confidence player, man. When things are going well for Ollie, look at when Ollie scores, he will often have a run of games when he scores because it's confidence. Chance of Villa, Sancho squares it. Sancho, have a shot, son. Sancho's doing the Watkins thing now. Look, it's unselfish, but he has a clear sight of goal there on an angle, in fairness. But, I just think there's a moment there for Sancho where he could have gone across goal. I don't think any of us would have been annoyed at Sancho if he did shoot. I mean, it's a good opportunity to make it 3-0 and, essentially make it game over. Sancho's scared to make a mistake, just plays simplest option. But that's like, we already have that with Ollie. So it's like having that again, just someone out, and Ollie Watkins out wide, I just don't think help. And it's a shame. I really like Sancho as well, but I just wish he was just a bit, just take more risks, man. It's fine with 2-0 up. He takes that risk, goes across goal. Even if he doesn't hit it cleanly. I mean, who's to say the keeper doesn't spill it anyway, or like it? Maybe he saves it and we get a rebound. There's players in the box there. I mean, there's players in the box had to be there because he was trying to find them with a pass. You never know, man. That's a foul. Free kick to Villa on the edge of the box. That's a silly one as well. Matson's done really well to win that. Should have 7 or 8 goals here. Final balls are awful. So Benjamin. Sancho, good sign for Villa. I think Sancho's been okay. Definitely like. I think it's definitely good to sign players who, have like an actual like name to them. It helps with the like reputation of the club and stuff. Like when Rashford signed for Villa, there was a lot of eyes on that deal, and I was quite pleased with how Rashford did at Villa. Obviously, it was a bit sad to see him get injured, but his first game out injured, we get hammered by Palace, and like we always lose to Palace anyway. But like maybe if he played that semi-final and he was fit, it could have been a different game. You never know. Who's to say? Probably, like I said, we probably still lose because it's Palace. Like, we're that scared of Eagles, we lost to a team called Go Ahead Eagles. Matson, how are we not scored? What? Barkley, Barkley's just miskicked the ball in front of goal. How have we not made this 3-0? It's actually laughable at the chances we've missed today, I can't lie. Poor cross. Only half clear. That's a shove in the back on Onana, surely. The referee's not seen it. And the shot is wide from Barkley this time. Mad. I've been Villa 3 times. Never seen a win there. I've seen us beat you at home 3 times. At home, we're not awful. Although, our last... You wouldn't believe this, by the way. And this is genuine. Our last 2 defeats at home have been Crystal Palace, the 3-0, and Crystal Palace. Literally, the last 2 teams to beat us, I'll word it this way. Our last 2 defeats at Villa Park in all competitions have been Crystal Palace and Crystal Palace. We're cursed. We are absolutely cursed. I don't know what it is with your team. We are cursed, especially at Selhurst Park. I hate playing at Selhurst Park. I forgive the one where we lost 5-0 because we were drunk. We qualified for the Champions League. The players are already drunk, right? No, Villa beat PSG 3-2. Villa beat this. Here's how mad it is. Villa beat Paris Saint-Germain in the same year. We lost 3-0. Oh, it should be a goal for Young Boys. They have scored. Oh shit! On the break, Young Boys make it 2-1. Okay. There's worry here. But it's very quickly going back to my point. Villa, in the same year that we lost to Crystal Palace, we beat Young Boys. Not Young Boys. Well, we did, but we beat PSG 3-2. Like what? We have beaten Man City at home 3 years running. I think it's 3 years running anyway. 1-0 this year, 1-0 last year. I think is it 3 1-0s? I think it's 3 1-0s, no? But yeah, it is 2-1 in this game. As I'm yapping away. Good counter-attacking goal. I mean, Young Boys have created nothing. And they're going to check the goal, actually. Hang on, it's not actually been given just yet. I think they're going to check it for offside. Harry Marlin does indeed. We lost to Arsenal. So before the Palace game, the one before that we lost to Arsenal, and even then we battered Arsenal and didn't deserve to lose that either. But yeah, Was it Palace in the Cup? It was Palace in the League Cup, I think, when we lost 2-1. And then Palace in the League this year. But our home record, we are ridiculous at home. If we could play every game at home, we would honestly be like a force to reckon with. It's just we have to play away. This might get disallowed, by the way. This could get disallowed. I've not seen the. I don't know if they've shown it. We do have semi-automated offside. I don't think they've shown any pictures, but this could be offside. The commentator said the angle they've seen, it looks like it's just offside. I didn't see it. I didn't look because I was yapping away reading chat. So that was my fault. I apologise. So I have to just rely on you lot. So I can't give an honest opinion because I didn't look. I didn't see when they showed it. If they did show it, it wasn't very long. They're taking a long time for this. Now, typically, when they take a long time, it's for... Yeah, it's disallowed. Way! Disallowed, boys and girls. It has been disallowed for offside. It will not be 2-0. And we do get a little reprieve there. And we're probably going to see surely some pictures now of the actual offside. Yeah, who's the one waffling about 2-1? Yeah, Bertie! Bertie! What's the score? Bertie, what's the score, clown? Posting 2-1. Just spamming 2-1. Oh, man. Tears in my eyes. Gessan, cross. We want handball for that, but we'll never get it for that. They could hit us on the break here again. Hopefully we learn our lesson, by the way. Not to get too comfortable. And again, it kind of feels like the Go Ahead Eagles game where we have, a million chances, don't take them, and then you get suckered, punched on the counter-attack. But we have survived so far. 15 minutes to go, plus injury time. Still 2-0 Villa. And I think other than that counter-attack goal that was offside anyway, I don't think they've really threatened Villa at all today. I mean, what do the stats say? I've got it on screen here. One shot, which was off target. So it literally would have been against run of play, their goal, anyway. Right, elsewhere, it is still 1-0 to Roma. That game, for some reason, the Roma game is in the 82nd minute. I'm not sure what that's about, but it's 1-0 to Roma there. Porto 3, Nice 0. Nice set to lose each of their 5 games in the Europa League. I mean, they've had an absolute horrid start. We have seen the offside. It is offside. You lot in chat, you know bull. You know bull. And we've had a spam of Al-Kawi. Oh, yeah, that Al-Kawi did so much for Olympiacos, didn't he, against Real Madrid? He really helped Olympiacos against Real Madrid in their loss. But yeah, you lot in chat, you know bull. If I would have saw that, I also would have said offside. In fairness, like I don't think you didn't really need the line for that. I don't really want to. I don't want to say it as well, but like, did they really need to like wait that long with the automated offside? Like, I think even in the image we got, I don't think it was like super close. Well, you are fighting AI, PS, and I think I respect AI over your opinion. So cry about it, my friend. Someone needs to explain how Madrid got worse after signing Mbappe. In fairness, he did get... What? He scored all 4 goals this week. I think the genuine answer to that, though, is just egos. If you sign for a team called the Galacticos, you're going to feel like you're an Avenger, you know? And Kylian Mbappe, like, real talk, as much as he's a good player, he really thinks he is, like, the god of football. And, like, that also clashes with Vinicius Jr., who also thinks he is the dog's bollocks at football. And that also clashes with Jude Bellingham, who genuinely believes he's like the best midfielder. And look, maybe because I'm a Villa fan, it could be easy for me to criticise Jude. I think there's a decent player in there with Jude, but I think his PR is insane. I think he's nowhere near the player that Real Madrid tell you he is. And at England, I don't think in reality he should be starting as many games for England. And look, he can provide his clutch moments, but that's kind of it with Jude. And this is me not even saying this as a Villa fan. Jude Bellingham will phase in and out of games, score one goal that will often be he'll score a goal in the 90th minute that will win the game, and the headlines will be Jude. But if you watch the game, he did nothing for 60 plus minutes of it. And that's kind of how it is with Jude. Look at when England played Slovakia. Now, he scores an unreal goal. And I lost my voice when we scored. It was a genuinely incredible feeling. We were shit that day. And, it's not just Jude who I don't think played very well that day. But he did nothing the whole game. Scored a very good bicycle kick. Was sent us to extra time. We win in extra time. That's great. Headlines all about Jude. He was shit for the game. He was absolutely shit the whole game. It can't just be me who thinks that if you cast your mind back. You can't possibly think we play well. We were shit for most of that game. Like I said, it's not just Jude. But he was pretty shit for that game. Scores a very good goal, in fairness. But then it doesn't really make sense that all the headlines are about him when he does one good thing in 90 minutes. And it's just his PR. It's his PR. I tell you now, if Morgan Rogers played for Real Madrid, people would say he's one of the best attacking midfielders in the world, if not the best. If Rodgers played for Real Madrid, that's what they'd be saying. But because he plays for Aston Villa, he doesn't have that kind of PR. And it's stupid. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Onana's been substituted for Villa. I mean, he's had a very solid game today. I was worried, actually, about him and his fitness in general when he wasn't... I don't think he was even listed on the bench against Leeds. And I was like, oh no, the injuries come and hurt us again. But he played 80 minutes today, played very well, completely dominated their midfield. Probably should have scored as well as the ball hit his thigh, didn't react. This is Europa, my friend, Europa League. Aston Villa currently second in the competition as well. Watkins down the left-hand side, 10 minutes to go, still 2-0 into Sancho. Jadon Sancho has a go, his shot's deflected. And that's what I mean. So Sancho's having that shot, which is fine. I don't mind that. But then he gets a much better chance and doesn't. Has another one here! Oh, Sancho's put it wide. Oh, Sancho. That was a moment. That was a moment. I was about to say, Sancho had a chance earlier where he probably should have shot, and instead he tried to square it. He's just had another on an angle, a cross goal, and he drags it wide. Oh, he should bury that. This game should be over. This game should be over. It's a really poor shot from Sancho. That is really, really poor. It's painful. You're not Mark Goldbridge. I didn't think I had glasses or grey hair. But thank you for your incredible insight there, my friend Josh. Has Sancho been good for Villa so far this season? He has been a decent squad player. Do I think he's been our best player? By any means, no. But I think he's done okay. I'd like to just see more, just more goal contributions from Sancho. That would just be nice. He has his moments. I remember away at Sunderland, he put in a wonderful cross to the far post. Oh, they have a chance. They play a long ball. It's Lindelof one-on-one defending. Oh, that's fantastic. From the substitute, Ezri Konsa, who made the challenge. I mean, Lindelof was being dragged left, right and centre there, but Konsa came across, helped defend. They have another shot deflected. Maatsen doesn't keep control of it. Still don't get it clear. It was a little bit rapey there, can't lie. But Ezri Konsa, the substitute, is rock solid as always. Konsa came on for Pau Torres as well. So it was Watkins, Tielemans, Torres, Konza for Torres, Buendia for Rogers, Barkley for Daniel Marlon. But yeah, I mean that is just how good can Konza be, man. I still think Konza's the most underrated defender in the league. Again, we're talking about PR. Konza gets 0 PR. It drives me insane. Like genuinely at the back for England should be Gehi Konza. 100%. Konza Gehi should be our starting centre backs for England every game. Every single game. John Stones is a good player, but he's been far too injury prone in the last few years. And I think you need a consistent back line. And the best defenders you got at England right now are Mark Gehi, Ezri Konza. No offense, plays for Villa. Gehi plays for Palace. He's insanely rated. And he plays for Crystal Palace. So it's not about the team. In this case, weirdly, it seems to not be about the team because Gehi has been highly rated by everyone. Palace finished like 12th every year. That's no disrespect to Palace, but it's my way of explaining that. Well, Gehi still seems to be very highly rated, even when Palace were not doing so well. I can't. Yeah, or Villa for some reason are shit with PR. I don't know how we constantly have players with shit PR. I don't get it. Watkins has a shot saved. He's had a shot there, boys. Going to Liverpool in January, maybe. Probably will go to Liverpool in January. I mean, I won't go to Liverpool right now. But he was highly rated before then. He'd been playing for England far before Liverpool even came sniffing at Gehi. So it's definitely not that. Gehi's been around the England team for quite a while now. Need a centre back who's comfortable going in midfield like Stones. I mean, I don't think. Look, it's hard to say in football, but if Konza can play right back and have to do a job there, I'm pretty certain whatever you tell him to do, he could do it to at least a respectable degree. You wouldn't find many centre halves who could be comfortable out wide, and I feel like it's a harder job to be comfortable out wide in a back four than it is to push up in transition of the ball. That's just my take. But Konza has been playing for England. It's not like he doesn't play. And when he has played, he's been part of that England team that have still yet to concede a goal in qualifying. I know our qualifying group wasn't fantastic, of course, but yeah, actually, that's why I said Gehi and Konza together. I think Gehi Konza are incredible. And I genuinely think we are, up there for World Cup favourites if we do have a defence of Gehi, Konza, Pickford in goal. If Konza played for the big six, if he played for any of those, suddenly then people would say he's one of the best in the country. When in reality, look, I'll accept that that Gehi I think is the best English centre back, but I think Konza's the second best. Anyway, 5 minutes ago, still 2-0 to Aston Villa. It's been a fairly comfortable game, really. I mean, other than the couple of minutes there of worry about their consolation goal potentially. I mean, they've had very little going forward all game, young boys. You don't look like you can kick a ball more than 5 yards, but carry on with the run. I played football. I played the game. I have photos. I played in sixth form. I played, not to dox myself. I played 2 years at sixth form as a fullback. And, there were players in my team that were better than me. I did a decent job. I enjoyed what I did. I kind of miss it. I feel like I'm old because it's been a couple of years now. But I played the game. I was in a lot better shape back then as well, I'll tell you. I was a right back. A little bit more the traditional, Gary Neville sense. You drift forward sometimes, but I'd always be worried about spacing behind. Because I wasn't, the strongest back then. So I'd be very wary. I was just like, unless if you play at like a good level, I suppose you care about that less. But I'd rather, especially back then, I'd rather not risk it and just kind of like drift forward. You'd put the odd early ball in out wide, but it's not. I wouldn't exactly be making like overlapping runs too often. I'll put it that way. You just want to do the consistent things and just stay in line with your defense. Does Watkins deserve a call up with his form? God no. He will, because we don't really have anyone else. And he will be like the second, probably behind Harry Kane. But you know who's a shout, by the way? And you're going to call me insane. But does Danny Welbeck have a shout for England? Danny Welbeck's form, I mean, despite his age, he's always been fairly consistent. I mean, let's have a look at his stats, right? 7 goals, man, in the Premier League this season. I think there is a genuine shout for Danny Welbeck, which is insane to say. 7 Premier League goals. Ollie has 1. So you can laugh all you want, right? You can laugh all you want at that shout. He got 10 goals for Brighton last year with 4 assists. He's got 7 goals this season. It's a big if. If he can keep that up for the season and have a decent Premier League goal scoring record, I think there's a shout for him going with the England squad. Delap maybe too as well. I don't think Delap plays enough. Didn't he have an injury as well for Chelsea, Liam Delap? And I liked him at Ipswich. In fact, I used him as a way to complain about Ollie Watkins at once last season, because I'm like, I think it was in the Ipswich game, Delap had 1 chance, scored 1 goal. And then I'm watching Ollie miss chance after chance after chance. It was driving me insane. Yeah, so Delap yet to score a Premier League goal, and he played 5 games. He got 1 against Chelsea in the Champions League. And he had a hamstring injury. Got 2 against Milan in the... Oh, was that in the... Oh, it was a friendly. Oh, see, he literally hasn't scored since then. Other than the Chelsea game against Barcelona. It's just injured. So you can't really say Liam Delap. We're gonna bring... I just think that... I think Danny Welbeck is very disrespected. There's not many. I mean, how old is Danny Welbeck? How many strikers could keep up a fairly decent goal scoring record into their mid-30s? Like, he's kind of been like you just typical like average striker. I'd never say I think Welbeck's played poor for the last few years at Brighton. And maybe I'm looking favourably at him now because of how well he started this season, but he's always been like kind of Mr. Consistent at Brighton. What you want at 5:30 on a Thursday at home? Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolute joke. Bear in mind, I work from home. I had to get permission to leave early from work. They do have a goal back, by the way. Oh, my life. Really? Can we not do this? Young Boys have scored just as we are about to enter the 90th minute mark. Why do we do this? Why? We have to make this... It has to be the Villa way of making this nervy for whatever reason. Seeing the replay of this. For God's sake, Aston Villa, man. Well, if someone had that bet earlier about them scoring. That might be offside, actually. Anyway, hang on. This might get disallowed as well. He's offside, no? Is he not offside? Am I seeing things? That long ball, he looked ahead of Bogard. Am I going blind? Surely that's off. Yeah, they're checking it. That looked off to me. He looked like a good foot in front of Bogard. Well, they're checking it. The angle. Look, all I'm gonna say is the angle I got. He looked offside. It's a really good shot. It's fairly poor defender from Villa. We try and play a high line. Well, they're complaining with the referee, so maybe there is, maybe the news isn't nice for Young Boys. Is he on a stand? What? Given? What? That's onside. What? How is that onside? Did they just give us a really shit angle? How is that onside? He looked like a foot ahead of Bogard. What am I seeing? 5 minutes of injury time to go as well. What am I bloody well seeing out here? 2-1 to Villa. I feel like I'm getting insane. How is that not been disallowed? I mean, arguably, that looked more offside than the goal that was disallowed. I want to see this automated offside now. Like, now. What the fuck? Whatever. Guys, it's the first time I said this, by the way, so you can't call me a TikTok beg, but if you haven't already, please double tap the screen, because we're coming to the end of the live stream. If you haven't already, a follow would be amazing, as Watkins might be through. Ollie Watkins for Villa has slipped and shot. If that has, I mean, if anything, that's probably summed up Watkins' season at Villa so far. On the end of a one-on, I say a one-on-one. At the very least, he's one-on-one with a defender. But he gets level with him, slips as he shoots, and it rolls into the keeper's hands. Like I said, there's a very Ollie Watkins moment this season. Dear. Kamara into Lindelof. Villa getting quite heavily pressed here by Young Boys with 2 minutes of injury time to go. Martinez thumps it long towards Gesson. Gesson handles that. There's now to call Gesson over, I think, because he's kind of time wasting there. He could have been booked for that. Free kick to the Young Boys with a minute and a half to play of injury time. Why do we do this? We've had such a comfortable game today. Why do we do this shite? Every time. It's their first shot on target was a goal. Martinez. Came sliding in. They still have it, Young Boys. In the box. Very well defended. What's he whistled for? Offside. Okay, offside. That apparently was offside. Where was... Okay, sure. Maybe I don't know what offside is, guys. Maybe I don't know. Because I don't know what is going on. What? The graphic they just shown for the offside. Even then he doesn't look offside. Onside. Sorry. Even then he doesn't look onside, even with the graphic they showed. What am I seeing? I'm going to look online. I swear if I'm going mad. I can't be the only Villa fan who's thinking that. I'm going to look online. Surely the comments are going to be like, what the fuck, that looked offside. To be fair, people are just complaining that how shit we are defending. I mean, that is another point. I mean, we switch off and we play a high line. Yeah, we're actually hilarious. Game should have been put to bed ages ago. What are we doing? Jokers deserve that shambles second half. Yeah, our second half hasn't been great. Finishing has been shocking, man. We play long towards Watkins. Doesn't quite intercept the ball before the keeper gets it. Fair enough. Maybe I am going insane because other people aren't saying it, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I can criticise defending. The defending's shit for the goal. Whether that is onside or not, defending's dog shit. And, classic me saying stuff like, I think Bogard has been Mr. Consistent. Bogard's probably at fault for both of the goals. I mean, the first one gets disallowed, but he's definitely at fault for the one that did stand. He's not a fullback though. I don't care if apparently he is one. If you want to say he's not a fullback. Matt's has been booked for time wasting as he goes to take a free kick, then walks away. Ben says actually been a bad performance all around. Really, should I mean I would say it's been a bad game of finishing. I think we've played well. It's just we've once again. How many times, by the way, has this been a thing this season where in Europe our finishing has been absolute dog shit. Sancho should be holding this in the corner, but instead he tries to play football. How dare he? And we then lose it. We get a corner though. What? Okay, their defender I think should have tried to be a little bit more ambitious there. He just concedes a corner and just allows us to waste even more time. Why would you give a team that's winning even more time to tick the... sure. Not complaining. Villa corner. 5 minutes were given at the start. We are now into the 7th minute of injury time. And that is full time at Villa Park. That is 3 massive points in the Europa League. And other than that slip up against the go-ahead Eagles, Villa have been pretty much perfect in this competition. In truth, Midtjylland, the side who were top of the league, who had a 100% record, have lost by 2-1. So Villa will go level with them on points in second place. Freiburg and Ferencváros both drew today. So there's now a point gap between us and third. Like I said, if we got any result against Go Ahead Eagles, we'd be top of the entire Europa League right now. But, we had to do a Villa, I suppose, and be shit. Braga, if they win, they could potentially go above Aston Villa. No, they would go above Villa on goals scored. If they get any win at all. So we drop down into third. And Lyon potentially could also go above Villa if they win their game against Maccabi Tel Aviv. So, I'll take that. It's another good win. The result is what matters. I think our second half was kind of mid. But it is what it is. All I'll say is, once again, thank you all for watching. You guys have been amazing. If you haven't followed the channel, if you don't, if you haven't thought about it, maybe. There's not many Villa fans on Twitter. So even if you want to just laugh at me when Villa do shit, hit the follow button. You get reminders. Thank you all for watching. See you again very, very soon. See you for Wolves Sunday. Huge game. Local derby against the shittest team in the league.